The tension in Abuja has reached a boiling point. President Donald Trump has warned that the United States could launch additional military strikes in Nigeria if attacks on Christians persist. What started as diplomatic threats has now evolved into active military intervention, sending shockwaves through Nigeria's political corridors and leaving President Bola Tinubu's administration scrambling to maintain control over a rapidly deteriorating situation. Trump issued the warning during an interview with the New York Times, where he was asked whether the Christmas Day missile strikes against the Islamic State terror group signaled the start of a wider military campaign. The strikes came roughly a month after Trump threatened to deploy U.S. troops to Nigeria, saying they would go in guns a-blazing to wipe out the terrorists killing our cherished Christians. The American president's rhetoric has become increasingly aggressive, transforming what was once diplomatic pressure into direct military action on Nigerian soil. The Christmas Day strikes marked a dramatic escalation that nobody saw coming quite this quickly. They didn't think that was coming, but we hit them hard. Every camp got decimated, he told Politico. In total, 16 precision-guided bombs from MQ-9 Reaper drones struck terrorist strongholds. These weren't warning shots, they were devastating precision strikes that demonstrated America's willingness to act unilaterally if necessary. President Tinubu finds himself walking an impossible tightrope. Nigerian Foreign Minister Yusuf Tuga told CNN Friday that he had spoken with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio prior to the strike, and that Nigerian President Bola Tinubu gave the go-ahead. Yet, this cooperation comes at a massive political cost. The Nigerian government must appear sovereign and in control to its citizens, while simultaneously managing an increasingly assertive American administration that seems willing to bypass diplomatic norms. I'd love to make it a one-time strike, but if they continue to kill Christians, it will be a many-time strike. This threat hangs over Nigeria like a sword of Damocles, creating panic within government circles as officials realize they are dealing with an American president who doesn't follow traditional diplomatic playbooks. The reality on the ground contradicts Trump's simplified narrative, but the reality on the ground is more nuanced than Trump's characterization suggests, experts and analysts have told CNN this year. Both Christians and Muslims, the two main religious groups in the country of more than 230 million people, have been victims of attacks. From 2020 through 2025, more Muslims than Christians were killed in religiously targeted attacks. Armed groups such as Boko Haram and ISIS West Africa primarily kill Muslims who resist them alongside Christians and others. If you are watching this and thinking this situation is spiraling out of control, you are absolutely right. The Nigerian government has been forced into crisis management mode. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered the military, police and the Department of State Services to hunt down and apprehend the terrorists responsible for the deadly attack on Kasuwan Daji community in Niger State. He warned that anyone aiding, abetting or enabling the terrorists in any form would also be identified and prosecuted. In a desperate attempt to show strength and maintain legitimacy, Tinubu has declared what amounts to a national security emergency. The DSS also has my authority to immediately deploy all the forest guards already trained to flush out the terrorists and bandits lurking in our forests. The agency also has my directive to recruit more men to man the forests. There will be no more hiding places for agents of evil. My fellow Nigerians, this is a national emergency, and we are responding by deploying more boots on the ground, especially in security-challenged areas. The timing couldn't be worse for Nigeria, but the rift with the U.S. along with other foreign policy challenges, notably the unprecedented breakaway of 3 member states from the Economic Community of West Africa, ECOWAS, while Tinubu was chairman in 2024, have deepened concerns among many Nigerians about Tinubu's leadership and raised more questions about Nigeria's global standing. The country is already facing economic challenges, regional instability, and now finds itself at the center of an international crisis that threatens its sovereignty. Remember to hit that like button if you are following this developing story. This is exactly the kind of geopolitical crisis that could reshape African-American relations for decades to come. In October, Trump added Nigeria back to a list of countries that the US says have violated religious freedom. Earlier this week, Nigeria was added to the US travel ban list of countries whose nationals face partial restrictions and entry limitations. These aren't just symbolic gestures, they are systematic pressure tactics designed to force Nigeria's hand. The Nigerian response has been a mixture of defiance and cooperation. The characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality, Nigerian President Bola Tinubu said. Yet, behind closed doors, the panic is palpable. Nigeria's military and security agencies will continue to work with regional and global partners to eliminate terrorists and other criminal elements threatening the country's peace and stability. In his New Year message to Nigerians, Tinubu said the government remains committed to reforms, security, and economic growth, stressing that progress cannot be separated from peace and safety. In 2026, our security and intelligence agencies will deepen cooperation with regional and global partners to eliminate all threats to national security. What makes this situation particularly explosive is the broader geopolitical context. Northern Nigeria sits beneath Niger and alongside Mali and Burkina Faso, members of the Sahel Alliance that expelled Western military forces and reclaimed control over gold, gas, uranium, and other strategic minerals. Subscribe to this channel if you want to stay updated on this unfolding crisis. The implications go beyond Nigeria's borders. Above all, prevent recruitment before violence metastasizes. Foreign powers will not solve Nigeria's insecurity. Superpowers act in pursuit of their national interest. Nigeria must do the same. Counter-terrorism succeeds when the state leads, coordinates, and sustains pressure. Outsourcing security strategy invites dependency and disappointment. Therefore, Abuja must own the fight politically, operationally, and morally. The Nigerian government's attempts to project strength are undermined by the reality of American military action on its soil. President Bola Tinubu on Friday vowed never to be merciful to those involved in terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping in Nigeria. Tinubu made the assertion while presenting the 2026 appropriation bill to a joint session of the National Assembly. These tough words come as the administration struggles to maintain credibility while American drones operate in Nigerian airspace. As the dust settles, Omirobo warned, the US will leave just as it left Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya, and Nigeria will be left to deal with the blowback, deeper insecurity, ethnic tension, religious polarization, and a weakened sovereignty. This haunting prediction captures the fear gripping Nigerian policymakers as they watch their country become the latest battleground in America's global war on terror.